Good evening, everyone. This is Joe Talley. I'm with Theater Rhinoceros, and welcome to another Saturday night staged reading. Tonight we are presenting for you To Whom It May Concern by Aurin Squire. Just to remind you that this works best, probably looks best if you are in full screen, and if you have opted for the gallery view on Zoom here. Uh, so without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to the actors who have been directed by Ely Orquiza, and enjoy the show.
To Whom It May Concern by Aurin Squire. Characters: Lorenzo Lafferhoff, 15-year-old rural boy, played by Mikee Loira. Maurice Creeley, 20-year-old soldier, played by Devin Cunningham. Scene 1. Abilene, Kansas, and Kabul, Afghanistan. Lorenzo Lafferhoff, 15, sits in his bedroom writing a letter. Maurice A. Creeley, a 20-year-old, eats cookies and reads the letter.
To whom it may concern, at the 1st Marine Division of the United States Armed Forces, I read an article in the Abilene Chronicle and wished to contact Sergeant Maurice A. Creeley. I found his rescue story very cool, and I'm not gonna lie, I also like the picture attached to it. I guess you can say this is a fan letter. I'm a student at Carter High School in Abilene, Kansas. I've enclosed a sealed batch of chocolate oatmeal cookies. Hopefully you can get them to Sergeant Creeley before they rot. The Army might have a strict policy on packages, but I'd really like to get this to him. Let me know. I have his picture hanging by my bed. Yours truly, LL.
Dear LL, it is always nice to get a fan letter, especially from a young woman who sounds as sweet as you. And just so you know, the Army may have a strict policy on receiving packages, but I wouldn't know because I'm not in the Army. I'm in the Marines. There is a difference, but no big deal, just an FYI. Anyway, thank you for the cookies. They were delicious. I bet you are too. But seriously, the desert is hot and there are so many bugs that it's disgusting. I try not to think about it. Instead, I try to picture pretty things. In fact, I'm trying to get a picture of you in my head. Do you have one? I would like to see it. I bet you are really cute. By the way, are you going to be 18 anytime soon? Sincerely, Maurice Creeley.
Dear Sergeant Creeley, you seem to be under some misconception about me. Perhaps it's my fault. I was hoping that you might be... Your sensitivity led me to believe that there was a slight, not great, but minuscule chance that you would be interested in me. I realize you might never want to speak to me again, but I can't lie. I'm one hot teenage girl. I'm 17, so I guess I'm not a girl, not yet a woman, but I will be. Any day now, I'll blossom into a beautiful young woman. My buds are ripening as I write. Post me back, please. Sincerely, LL. Lillian.
Dear Lillian, I don't know why you would think I would want to stop receiving your letters. Besides, your cooking is so delicious, I think my entire unit would kill me if I stopped talking to you. I've been telling them all about you, and they agree. You are one special, almost legal teenager. I mean, who bakes stuff and mails them to Marines they don't even know? No one. Who takes the time to pick out a lone face in a crowd and write them a letter? No one even cares about the thousands getting killed. I thought everybody had forgotten about us out here. Your letters give me hope that maybe that's not true. I know I see you, Lillian, and I want to continue seeing you, especially when you turn 18. But seriously, don't stop writing. Yours are the only letters I get. I want to know everything about you, and a picture would be nice too. I don't know if you have a computer or not, but we should email each other. It'll be a lot quicker way of getting to know each other.
They both move to computers.
I get all wet and moist inside this and slip my fingers between
Lorenzo flips through an anatomy book and cringes.
labia majora. It feels so good when I rub my vestibule and clitoris. My vulva gets all tingly, and then I explode, shuddering and biting down into my pillow hard. Then I melt like a little kitten falling asleep, thinking about how good you make me feel.
Thank you for the email.
You're welcome. This is a lot quicker than writing. This past month has been so good.
Lillian, I can't stand it anymore. When are you going to give me that picture?
When you come and see me, I've left a ladder by the window just for you. I have to go meet a friend at the bus stop. For now, I've sent you another sweet treat.
Maurice takes out her panties.
Thank you for the latest treat. I don't think I'll be sharing this dessert with the unit. Do you have some way we could talk more directly, like instant messaging?
They both move to instant messaging.
So good to finally meet you in cyberspace. Smiley face.
Smiley face, likewise. BTW. If you ever want to talk, I'm always here at my computer around this time after cheerleading practice.
Cheerleading practice. BFG.
What's that?
Big fucking grin.
Well, AAP, A3, always a pleasure, anytime, any place, anywhere. I have to leave in a minute, but Maurice, you know what I'd do to you if you were here. I'd like to...
Oh, now, DEGT, don't even go there. Lieutenant is looking over my shoulder, and I think he knows about our cyber love. Don't want to make him jealous. I think he likes me.
What?
I think he's a HOMO.
Really?
I know. CIBI. Can you believe it?
ICB, I can. Is he cute?
Yeah, I guess he could be considered that, but I'm more interested in seeing a picture of you.
Soon enough. But let's get back to this lieutenant.
Come on, Lil.
Don't be shy. This is interesting to me. Is this the same lieutenant as the one in the article?
Yeah,
Maybe he just admires you.
he's got no reason to.
Of course he does. You did something very brave.
That was weeks ago.
Once a hero, always a hero.
You think I'm a hero?
You're a total badass.
Don't really see myself in that sort of kind of guy.
Try seeing yourself differently.
Who am I trying for?
For me,
Okay. For you, I do it. So how about giving your hero a pick?
you really want one?
Yes, hop to it, woman.
Yes, sir. I guess you'll eventually have to see me.
No time like the present.
BRB.
Lorenzo grabs his digital camera and takes a few pictures.
I'm going to send you a picture of my friend. Tell me what
No.
you think.
Lil.
HOAS.
What?
Hold on a second.
Wow. Your IM vocab is huge.
Well, I use it a lot. I can talk entirely in acronyms if you want. Tell me, what do you think of this guy?
Lillian, the only picture I want to see is yours.
In a second. Maurice, if this lieutenant is HOMO, would that be such a bad thing?
No,
Good.
I just don't want those people around me.
PXT, please explain that?
They stay in their place and I can stay in mine,
And what is their place?
away from me.
Look, I know you guys have this big macho image to uphold being in the army and...
Marines,
Right, whatever, but
No, baby, it's not whatever. You've done this a few times in our conversation, and I've let it slide because I like you, LL.
fine, but
There is a big difference. Look, labels are very important. What we call ourselves, what we call others, what we say we believe in, it's very much not a whatever thing. If a guy says he's in the Navy and you keep calling him Coast Guard Bill, he's going to get upset because he had to earn that label.
okay, well, what if he was born W/it?
I don't follow you.
Let's say Bill was born into the Navy. Even though he didn't necessarily want to be in it, he was labeled as a seaman.
LOL, smiley face. You said semen.
Smiley face. Anyway, he was born with a label and expected to spend his whole life at sea. Let's say this person wanted to be on solid ground, in the Marines.
Now you're talking. Well, I'll tell him to go sign up.
But what if he couldn't do it, Maurice? What if he couldn't just sign up?
Why not?
Because he couldn't be on dry land.
Are you talking about somebody like Aquaman or something like that?
Sure, he's allergic, like Aquaman.
So Aquaman is in the Navy,
Right.
but he wants to be in the Marines. PXT, because I'm confused. I think you're mixing up your analogies.
He wants to be on land. His family lives on land. They don't understand why he can't come in from sea. They think he's sick, so they send him to a doctor. And when he refuses to get better, when he can't get better, they don't want him anymore. They think he's disgusting, B/C, of the label he was born with. When he tries to explain, they scream. When he tries to touch them, to hug them, they beat him. But they don't understand he would change if he could, because it's lonely out here.
Can he find other sea creatures?
None his age. Most of them are hiding. The creatures he bumps into out there are old and mean. Their skin is wrinkled like prunes, and they don't care about him. They've been alone in the ocean for so long that they've forgotten how to treat each other. And he only knows that he's going to become like them. If he doesn't find a way to get to land or another creature as kind and caring as him, he's going to be lost at sea. And he doesn't want that because then he really will be corrupted.
This creature could always kill himself.
What?
If he's doomed to be unhappy his whole life, why not spare himself? Why die 1,000 deaths when you can die one? We're still talking about sea creatures, right? LL,
IGR.
what?
I gotta run. Meet a friend in the park.
Lillian, who are all these friends you're meeting in parks? And why can't they just come back to your house? Wait, are you trying to make me jealous?
Lorenzo puts camera, lotion, and condoms in a satchel.
Lillian,
Maybe we shouldn't speak to each other for a while.
but why?
Because you're not the sensitive person I thought you were.
What just happened? Did I do something? If so, I can make it up to you. I sent you a package yesterday and
GFY.
what?
Go fuck yourself, army brat.
LL,
Brat.
that's not even the correct terminology.
Then how about army boy? Or how about closeted army faggot?
What?
You heard me? Army fag.
Lillian, they monitor this computer.
Good. Then they'll know that you're an army fag. Maybe you and Lieutenant can.
Hey, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, fuck me and fuck you. Guess we're both fucked.
But Lillian, what's going on? Whatever it is, it can be worked out. You're the only. Please, I need to speak to you. What am I supposed to do?
Well, I guess you should take your own advice.
And what's that?
Kill yourself.
Scene 2, Desert Storm. Maurice walks in with a shawl around his head. A sandstorm rages outside while in Kansas. A thunderstorm is passing overhead. Maurice sits down in his bed and unwraps his shawl.
Lillian, you there? You said you were normally online at around this time, so I thought I would try. I got an internet hookup to my personal computer by my bed, so we can say whatever we want now. There's a sandstorm outside. All operations have been grounded. Not even the suicide bombers are out today. You can't see your own hands. You ever been in a sandstorm? The air becomes this ocean of yellow, and it feels like 100 glass needles are sticking every inch of your body, on your nose, on your toes, in your eyes, all these tiny needles. And every time you breathe, you inhale these needles, and it burns your chest and head. You sweat and sand clumps together and runs down your face in little streams. I got all these rivers of dirt and sand running down my arms and chest. I feel like I'm being buried alive. Look, I'm sorry. I thought about what I said. No one should be ashamed of who they are or label. I really like you, and we have nothing to be ashamed of. So there. Are you happy? I don't think Aquaman should kill himself.
Lorenzo enters with ripped clothes and dripping wet. He's searching under the bed for something.
If you're there, TMB. Let's text me back. I've been chatting and increasing my IM vocab. I'm sure I'm not at your level yet. I mean that in a lot of ways. Well, I guess you're not there. WWYC. Write me when you can.
Maurice, hey, LTNS.
Long time no see, back at you. How are you?
Wet, incredibly wet.
Smiley face, wink, wink.
Not like that, perv. Came in from a storm.
Me too.
It's raining over there?
Sandstorm.
What's that like?
Fun.
Wish you were here.
I wish I was there too.
Your family must miss you.
Don't know.
Why not?
They got their own lives. Hey, want a cyber sex? Smiley face?
Sad face. Not really.
Come on, it'll be fun.
Not in the mood, dude.
Lil, is this about last time? Look, I'm sorry about what I said.
It's not you. Daddy issues.
Ah, family crap. Feel your pain.
You too?
One of the reasons I joined the Marines.
Really? What about your mom?
Gone.
What?
Left when I was in high school.
That's fucked up.
You get used to fucked up things.
Brothers and sisters?
One gone, don't ask.
What happened?
What did I just say?
Sorry. Brother or sister?
You really don't know how to follow orders.
Yeah, one of my problems. So?
Brother, younger, dead.
Sorry. Dad?
Wish he was dead.
Well, same here. Maybe. I like my mom better.
Dang.
So, why did yours leave?
Never said. Guess she just got tired, woke up one morning, drank some coffee, and walked out.
Creepy. I thought only dads did shit like that.
Everybody leaves, eventually. Only fucked up thing is she left the water on in the tub. It was like it was raining in my room. Water was running down the stairs. It took 2 weeks to dry out everything. And then the mold on the ceilings, inside the walls, everything stank. Her clothes and stuff were all on the closet floor, and they got covered with these green moldy spores.
So, she didn't take anything?
One thing. It was coming up on a year since my brother was buried. We had a picture of him on the mantelpiece that was missing. She took that.
What a jerk.
Hey, STFU, that's my mother.
Sorry, but it's true.
Yeah.
If anybody ever did that to me, I'd fucking hunt them down.
No, you wouldn't.
I'd hunt them down and blow their fucking brains out.
No, you wouldn't, LL. You're too sweet and nice.
Maurice, I'm not that nice.
Yeah, you are. That's why you can forgive me so easily.
I haven't forgiven you yet.
But you will.
And how do you know?
Because I'm your badass hero.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, if you want me to be.
Maurice, that's not the way a badass hero talks.
Well, I'm in training. I've been working on being better. B/C of you. I'm trying to improve myself for you. Trying to change.
Why? But you haven't even met me.
I think we've met each other. It feels like it to me. Like we've made some connection. And I want to be smarter, funnier, and just more for you.
Don't be more. I'm sorry for being so shitty. I hope you can forgive me for everything.
Always. You know, I've never been to Kansas.
Not missing much. Can't wait to get out of this fucking city. The state, the douchebag heartland of America. Pickup trucks, belt buckles, fried chicken, and fat ass retards and their fat ass wives and their fat ass greasy kids.
Is something wrong today?
Just venting. Maybe I should go to Kabul.
LOL, are you serious?
Why not? I can get work. They can't be setting off bombs on every corner. And I'll wear one of those burqas. Nobody will see my face or know my name. Just you and me.
Lillian, it's just sand in caves. Can't even understand how these people have been living out here. There's no atmosphere.
That sounds nice.
During the day, it's an oven, and then at night, it's a freezer.
Just want to get out of this town.
You feel like an outsider. Like that Aquaman?
Oh, well, I guess.
Lillian, it'll pass. When I was younger,
Aren't you only 19? I mean, you still can't order wine.
20, and don't interrupt your elders.
Sorry.
The point is that I felt exactly like you too.
And what did you do about it?
I joined the Marines.
Then I guess it worked out for you. Your name is in the paper, you won a medals, and now you're a hero.
Yeah, listen, Lil, I'm not a badass hero.
Not yet, but you got your learner's permit.
No, I'm serious.
If I did anything even slightly cool, I'd brag to everybody.
It's just pure chance who gets in the newspaper, who gets the gold star. That's all it was. LL, don't join the Marines. Being on dry land isn't what it's cracked up to be. Stay out at sea.
With who?
Have some time off soon. Going home to St. Louis. I could take a bus out to Kansas.
Don't inconvenience yourself.
No inconvenience. What else do I have to do?
You got friends you want to visit?
A few.
Sure, you got a bunch of girls hanging around.
Lillian, my life is a really bad country western song. My dog died, my mom left, I got nothing. You are it. You are my only contact with someone real. This is for real. At least that's what I think. Don't know how you feel.
Yeah, it's real.
So when I get there, if I get there, I'll finally get to see you in the flesh.
Well, let's talk about that later. We gotta plan it out. Gotta know so I can get myself ready.
What does a young, hot woman like yourself have to prepare? You got to fix your face?
Among other things.
You're just being shy.
Actually, I have finals around that time. Studying and preparing to go to college. Don't want you to come all the way out here and be disappointed. Wouldn't want you wasting your time on me.
It wouldn't be a waste. Smiley face.
Smiley face. I'm sorry for telling you to GFY.
I was more offended by the Army reference.
I'm sorry for that too.
And I'm sorry for what I said. Aquaman should live, and all his descendants.
So now we've made up?
Almost. We still have one thing to do. Smiley face, wink, wink.
I thought you couldn't because it was a public compute.
Got mine hooked up a week ago. You got the package I sent?
Lorenzo takes out the jockstrap.
Yes, thank you. Smiley face, I sleep W/ every night.
What do you do? W slash question mark?
Rub it
Where?
on my vulva.
LL, could you,
What is it, Mac 68?
when you're talking about stuff, be a little less clinical?
LOL. Okay, Big Mo, I take your hot, sweaty jockstrap and I rub it on my vagina.
A little better. What else?
And then I let it down my pussy lips.
Now we're talking. That's it, LL. What else do you do?
Not so fast, cowboy. First, tell me what you do with my package.
Let it slide all up and down my bod, across my six-pack abs and over my pulsating pecs, between my hairy thighs.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
wrap it around, you know, my 45 Magnum.
Yeah, I do the same.
Question mark?
Lol. JK, joking. I mean, I press it into my moist, sweet vulva.
Fat face, Lil.
No, cunt. I meant cunt. JK, I press your jock into my sweet warm box and I see you sneaking into my bed real quiet like a panther ready to pounce on me.
And you under me?
And I'm rolling.
And writhing, grinding, sweaty and hot.
Pounding me harder and harder. Me feeling on your chest, rubbing my hands across your hair, down your stomach.
Kiss your breast and neck as I'm inside.
Hot.
Arch your back like a cat. Oh, yes.
Gritty.
Tell me you're 18.
I'm
Tell me
18.
you turned 18.
I'm legal.
Yes.
I'm legal.
Oh, I'm coming.
Oh, I'm coming.
Oh.
Nighty night. TTYL. XO. XO.
XO. Lillian, I can't wait any longer. I'm coming to see you.
Scene 3. Lorenzo is asleep. Maurice opens the window and climbs in. He places his bag on the floor and begins taking off his clothes.
Here I am, Lil, your desert soldier in the night. Sorry it took so long to get here. Getting extended leave is a bitch. But now I'm here. I'm going to do it just like we talked about. I even got a blindfold from a Navy SEAL. You know, if you want to make it more mysterious.
Lorenzo moans and shifts under the cover. Maurice crawls into the bed and rolls the covers over their heads.
Here I am, Lil. Woof, you're kind of big. But that's all right. Now turn around and let me get a look at those big brown eyes. Wait, listen, kid, I'm sorry. I mean.
Please, don't hurt me.
No, I'm not.
I won't make a sound. Just take whatever you want.
I climbed in the wrong window.
What?
Be calm. I'm looking for Lillian Lafferhoff.
Huh?
Kid, I'm her friend. And I was just looking to play a joke.
Maurice?
Lorenzo turns on the light.
Yes, that's my name, kid. Just don't call the cops.
Oh, you had a look in your eyes like one of those tweaking meth heads who forgets where he is and chops up a whole family while they're asleep in their beds, like this story I just read about it, saw about it, one of those news clips online. So I say read when I actually mean watching online, but you're not a crazy meth head who's gonna chop me up, so it's cool.
Wait, how do you know my name?
A sound of the door closing off stage.
Hi,
What?
down the hall. I just heard my parents' door open.
Lorenzo throws the covers over him. Lorenzo opens the door, and a light come from the hallway comes in. After a moment, the light goes out. Lorenzo locks the door.
Safe to come out?
Is it ever?
What?
Just a second.
Lorenzo grabs Maurice's gift jockstrap and shoves it under the bed. Maurice uncovers himself.
Hi, I'm Lorenzo.
I'm Maurice. But you already knew that.
Yeah,
How do you know that?
because I'm Lillian's younger brother. She's spoken of you as a friend.
Yes, me and her are just good old friends.
Maurice becomes aware that he isn't wearing pants. He puts them on. Lorenzo grabs a robe for himself.
I was just playing a practical joke on her by sneaking up here. Thought her bedroom was here.
Huh?
The ladder?
Keep it by my window in case I gotta make a quick getaway.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, we almost.
If it had only been a little bit darker.
Yeah, and you've got really smooth skin.
Thanks.
Oh, not that I mean, it's just an observation.
I use 3 different types of acne medication. I've got the bar, the cream, the facial scrub twice a day. You really like my skin?
It was just an observation. It's soft, like a woman. Is Lillian home?
Is Lillian home?
Your sister.
Yes, my sister. She should be home in a little bit.
Isn't it kind of late for her to be out?
Isn't it kind of late? Yeah, yes.
Why do you keep repeating what I say?
Why do I keep... I'm joking. It's a nervous habit when I'm trying to think of something to say. Otherwise, if I don't, I just...
Lorenzo stares at him for a long time.
Yeah, and that's when people get nervous, like you just did. And so I figured it's better to just keep shoveling coal into the old furnace, even when the train isn't going anywhere. Keep the pistons pumping and jets blazing, the feet jogging. Yeah,
What is your sister doing out so late?
cheerleading practice.
At 11:30 at night.
Yeah, I know. She's really dedicated. I told her that it's just cheerleading, but she was all like, shut up. I love to cheer. Yay. But I guess it's worth it when you look at her taut, lean, muscular body. You should wait here until she comes home. We can hang out.
I've got to bus back to St. Louis in the morning. I can go away and then come back before then.
No, that's too much trouble for you. And she really wants to see you. Please don't go. She would be so disappointed.
I can't wait all night.
Of course.
A few minutes. So, is it Lorenzo?
Sure. Whatever you want.
Lorenzo dims the lights.
Why did you just do that?
The lights hurt my eyes. I just woke up.
Right. So, Lorenzo.
Lorenzo hits the play button on his CD and loud Trent Reznor-style rock blasts. He quickly switches it off.
Should I hide again?
No, it's fine. I hit the wrong button.
He can't come in here, right?
Nope. Door's locked. My dad wakes up a lot. Big man. Tiny bladder.
That sucks.
If he lost some weight, his belly blubber wouldn't crush his tiny bladder. But he loves the ham and eggery. Family glows, like every Saturday. But I don't want to think about tomorrow. Just need some mellow music.
Lorenzo goes to his computer for music and something, maybe Annie Lennox.
There we go. You want something to drink?
Some tap water.
Sure. You don't want something like wine?
How do you have wine?
Oh, my mom and dad keeps dozens of bottles of Manschwitz. I don't know why. Maybe they think a wedding is going to break out at any moment. I siphon off a little from each and replace it with water. And before you know it, ta-da!
Lorenzo grabs a computer tower from underneath. He removes the tower's face and takes out a bottle of wine. A piece of paper slips out and falls near the bed.
What are you, James Bond?
Sometimes you have to practice a little bit of camouflage in life, you know? Well, of course you know that. But do you know your wines?
Kid, how old are you?
I'm 15, but I'll be 16 in 2 months. God, that sounded so immature. I'm sorry.
You're 15.
Yes? Why?
You seem, I don't know, too clever.
Blame the internet.
Yeah, I guess everybody's online.
Have to. It's the only way to connect. Everyone my age just knows a lot more.
Well, be careful. When you're at a certain age, you can know more than you should.
Drink?
No,
Why not?
because I'm not 21 yet.
Lorenzo tilts the bottle back and takes a gulp.
Yeah, that's rough. The disadvantage of siphoning is that you get like 30 different Manschwitz flavors crammed into one. Are you sure you never drank alcohol before?
Of course, I drank alcohol before.
Then why did you pretend you didn't?
I wasn't pretending, just saying I shouldn't because I'm not 21 yet. I was trying to set a good example.
Thank you.
No problem. Can I have some water?
I have a Brita.
Lorenzo exits. Maurice begins looking around at the room.
Do you have any pictures of your sister?
No, but why would I want a picture of my sister in my bedroom? Kind of sick, right?
Sure, maybe. So, Lorenzo.
Lorenzo comes back in with water, handing it to Maurice.
Here you go.
Thank you. So, Lorenzo.
You like saying that a lot, don't you?
Yes, it's catchy. So, what did your sister say about
She said that you were a total badass.
me? She's got away with words, doesn't she?
She's a poet.
You're very lucky to have such a wise sister. What else did she say?
That you were from St. Louis, that you left high school and joined the Marines. Oh, I read the article about you.
Yes, the article.
It's a great story.
Yeah, they always find a way.
What?
They always find a way to tell a great story. The truth is more nuanced. Do you know what that word means?
I'm 15, not retarded. FYI, I'm in AP and honors classes.
Okay, my bad. An honor student. You're like the kids I used to beat up in school, the smart ones. You're probably smarter than me.
Yeah, probably. So, what's it like in Afghanistan?
Let's not get into it.
But you gotta have stories. Is the surge going to work?
Let's just drop the war. I have 2 weeks back in the States and I intend to get some good food, solid sleep.
Maybe a little nookie?
Perhaps, yes, but not with your sister, of course. The goal is to think as little as possible about over there.
I can imagine. My mom says we're probably going to lose.
We're not going to lose.
No offense. Maybe lose isn't the best word. It's more nuanced, right?
Exactly. Things will be better off than when we first arrived, hopefully.
Even with all the religious genocide and ethnic cleansing?
It's not genocide and ethnic cleansing.
Well, not anymore. They already killed everybody who they wanted to, while the U.S. watched, just like in Iraq.
I'm not going to talk to a 15-year-old kid about ethnic cleansing. And it's not ethnic cleansing. It's neighborhood resettlement.
Yeah, whatever.
It's not whatever.
Right. Oh, I know. Labels are important.
Why did you say that?
I don't know. Look, I'm not saying we're gonna lose.
Good.
I think both sides are gonna lose.
Both sides can't lose. Somebody has to lose and somebody has to win. Let's get back to something pleasant like your sister. What else did she say about me?
She said you were a muscular, good-looking, sensitive soldier in the army. I mean, Marines. She would always get that confused.
Must be contagious. I'm getting confused right now. Lillian, Lorenzo, huh? LL. I'd really like to see a picture of your sister.
I don't think I can find any. My dad doesn't like to encourage the hordes of horny teenage boys around here. Besides, who needs a picture when you can be painted with a beautiful, highly descriptive biography?
Why don't you take me to her room?
Maurice finishes the water. Lorenzo takes his glass and goes into the bathroom.
It's locked, and I don't want my dad catching you out there. Let's just sit and wait. You've got to tell me what it's like in Kabul. I read a bunch of blogs and online papers to keep up with what's going on in Afghanistan. You're stationed in the outskirts, right?
Maurice finds his male jockstrap and begins fuming.
Yeah. So, Lorenzo, how would you describe your sister? In your own words.
She's just an angel, kind and giving, and has huge breasts. Her face is sort of like Christmas.
I've never heard anyone's face described as a holiday. What else about her?
She's just really pretty. Red bursting lips, curvaceous hips, golden hair, green eyes, like pine trees or
An emerald.
right.
Wow. She describes herself with a lot of the same words that you use.
Great minds think alike.
Sometimes they're so great they're practically the same.
Well, yeah. Me and her are very close.
Lorenzo, can you come out here for a second?
Lorenzo enters and Maurice holds up his jockstrap.
What is this?
I know you're probably thinking to yourself, what is your jockstrap doing here?
My jockstrap? How did you know it was mine?
My sister told me. Of course. You're probably wondering what I'm doing with it, and I can explain. I took it from her room. I thought some jock left it behind, and I didn't want my dad finding it, but then she told me about you, and I figured I'd keep it safely here.
Maurice grabs Lorenzo and slams him into the bed.
Okay, let's calm down.
I'm going to pound your fucking face in.
No, wait.
Tell me the truth about Lillian, you fucking punk.
This is all a misunderstanding, and...
Maurice raises his fist to strike him.
Wait! Okay, I'm sorry. The truth about Lillian is... You're looking at her.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm your girl.
No. You're joking. This is a joke, right? There's a candid camera around here somewhere, and Lillian is...
Yes.
You're not serious. I mean, why would you do that?
I don't know.
You wouldn't do that, right? Not to me.
I didn't think you'd ever show up looking for her.
Maurice looks at Lorenzo, then releases him.
That is so fucking twisted. Ah!
Shh! My parents!
Kid, you got problems.
I know.
I mean, real deep problems.
Well, I don't know if they're that deep.
They are.
Yeah, probably right.
Pretending to be a woman.
I didn't mean to.
What are you talking about? You accidentally went along with this for months? You just happened to take on the name Lillian, sign letters with lipstick kisses.
You assumed I was a woman, and I went along with it.
Why?
I don't know. You sounded interested in me.
I was interested in Lillian.
Well, I'm sort of Lillian.
You are not a barely legal hot cheerleader. You are a 15-year-old boy with too much time on his hands. The letters, cookies, emails, panties. The panties! Are these your panties?
No, usually I go commando.
Oh, TMI.
That's right. Too much information. I stole those from a store.
How can they smell the way they do?
I rubbed them with a little canned tuna and hot sauce.
That is so fucking sick.
I saw how to do it on Real Sex HBO. It was a mail order company in Poughkeepsie that sends used panties to men. It's how they give the fresh panties that worn smell.
He picks up the jockstrap from the floor.
What about your jockstrap?
I'm not a liar. I wore it.
Yeah, I can smell you. Even left some hair in the crack.
Give me that.
Maurice walks around the room and gathers his things.
And the pictures?
J. Crew holiday catalog. Face like Christmas.
Kid, you gotta pay for all this sick shit.
Are you grossed out because I like you?
You don't like me. You don't know me.
I understand what you're feeling. You're angry.
Yeah,
You're disgusted.
of course.
You have gay panic.
Are you making fun of me?
No, it's serious. I read this story on Wikipedia about a construction worker who beat up his coworker because he had a crush on him. And a psychologist said to the man that did it because he was suffering from gay panic.
That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Calm down, Maurice. Your panic is gonna start acting up.
Shut up.
Maurice punches Lorenzo, who crumples to the ground.
Okay. Okay.
You think this is funny. You think you're being cute.
No. Sorry.
I didn't punch you that hard.
Sure.
I barely tapped you. You're not hurt.
Sure. Sure. No, I'm fine. I've been hit before. Just takes a moment. One time, I met this dude, and after we did it, he found out I was a dude and started punching me in the face. He was screaming about getting AIDS and shit. I thought he was going to kill me, said he was going to cut my throat, and he ran back to his car. And I didn't stick around because,
Don't you ever shut up.
sorry, nervous habit.
He couldn't see that you were a guy.
Who? Oh, the dude who hit me. No. But you didn't see that when you first came in.
That's different. It was dark.
Well, it's easy to trick people in the dark, especially guys. They're pretty dumb. No offense. Don't you want to? Don't want you to start panicking again.
If you don't stop saying that shit, I'm going to really fuck you up.
Sorry. Just so you know, I wish I was Lillian. If it makes you feel any better, I wish I could be her.
Yeah, so you wouldn't get your ass kicked?
No, I just really like you. I can't do anything about my age or what I am. Isn't this what you're looking for?
No.
No family? No friends? You said you had nothing.
That doesn't mean I'm gay.
It's not about that.
Actually, I think it is.
It's about a connection, right? How many times do we fuck over email?
Oh, God.
Or IM? That's all it is. An instant connection through wires, cables, and satellites. But now you're here. Now we're standing in the same room. And I feel like we know each other. I've laughed with you. I've worried about you. I've lived with you. And I even baked you fucking cookies. I like you.
Kid, I don't care if you like fisting frozen turkeys while getting spanked with a rolled up newspaper.
Huh?
It's a figure of speech.
Where?
In my head, okay? The point is that I don't care what you like. You lied.
I'm sorry, okay?
Sorry isn't good enough. You gotta pay.
How much was the bus ticket?
Not that kind of pay. It was $55, and I'm talking about pay as in suffering. Penance.
Penance?
It's a Catholic thing.
You can do whatever Catholic thing you want to me.
Oh, really? Whatever I want?
Yes?
So I could shove you.
Maurice backs him up.
I'd let you. You could do whatever you want to me.
Oh, really? Whatever I want.
Yes.
And then I start hitting you?
Maurice backs him up.
Yes. If you want to.
Why aren't you fighting back?
You want me to fight you?
Yeah, it makes it harder to kick your ass when you don't fight.
If it's sex, I know a girl at school who's a total slut that'll,
It's not the sex. It's the time and energy and effort. After all I've done, months.
Maurice, my dad might hear you.
You've taken months from me, of my time, of my money, of my mind. Months you've wasted, and I'm telling your dad, he'll punish you. My dad would kick my ass when I was young, sometimes for doing nothing. It's good for you. Makes you learn things you don't want to take to, like not lying.
How are you going to tell them?
I'm going to march in there. Okay, that's a problem.
My mom won't care much. She never does. But my dad might call the police.
You are going to march in there and introduce me.
As what? A friend?
As I don't care. Just get in there.
No,
Excuse me?
I don't want to do it.
I know you don't want to do it. That's why it's called punishment. Because you do something you'd rather not. I'm ordering you to get in there.
I'm not good with following orders.
Lorenzo and Maurice look at each other. Maurice moves towards him and Lorenzo backs up.
Lorenzo, this is retarded. Stop moving away.
Then stop following me.
Lorenzo, I'm not going to chase you.
Maurice chases Lorenzo. It is silent and stealthily. Maurice eventually catches him and slams Lorenzo against the wall.
Stop saying that. Now, listen.
Don't make me tell him.
You are going to learn responsibility.
Maurice, I don't want to be thrown from a window.
What?
He said he would throw me from a window.
Who?
My dad. Next time he caught me with a guy.
Well, he's not catching you like that because we didn't do anything.
Listen, I'm sorry for what I did, but my dad doesn't joke around. He's a big believer in punishment.
So was mine. Big deal.
With paddles, pipes, and chains.
What?
Well, not big chains. Snow chains. A few months ago, the manager at the Greyhound station called him, said I was loitering around the bathroom, making travelers nervous. But I was just, I don't know, hanging out. But he came, straight from work, he marched down to that station, smiled, nodded his head, talked real nice and calm to the manager, and thanked him for looking out for me. And he drove me home in the rain and calmly told me the next time I embarrassed him like that, he would throw me out of the window. Didn't know if he was serious or not. But when I was walking up the steps to the front door, he knocked me down and threw a sheet over me. He started wailing on me with these chains from the snow tires. Got a couple of good ones in on my back and my stomach, and there's no sign of the chains because of the sheets. And he starts kicking and cussing and spitting on me. His fucking faggot son. I stole a fishing knife from the garage. I ran up to my room, and I was going to wait until he was asleep. Fuck me. Fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck all these goddamn assholes. Fuck the Greyhound manager. Fuck the married businessman jerking off in the bus stop bathroom. Fuck it all. Then I thought about what you said when we got into that fight. Why not just kill yourself?
I didn't mean it like that.
But you were right. Fuck it all. Only take a few cuts and I'd be done. And then I got your IM about the sandstorm. And talking to you made things less fucked. I didn't want to do it. Maurice, you're the only one I'd let hit me, touch me, do whatever. but not him. If you make me go into that room, I'll do what I started. I'll fucking kill him, and I'm not joking. And then I could slash my own throat and be happy just knowing that fucker is dead. Because I'd rather kill him, my mom, this whole fucking town, and me than let him throw me out a window. And if you make me go in there, I will.
Lorenzo dashes into the bathroom and locks the door.
Kid, hey, you're not going to... Don't. Look. It's all right. Okay? Okay?
Scene 4. Sounds of Kabul. Maurice drinks the wine and notices a paper on the floor.
Dear Lillian, I can't sleep. It's too quiet and I got this buzzing in my ear. I've gotten so used to mortar and gunfire that I don't know what to do when it's silent out there in Indian country. That's what we call it out there. There's the base, a few pockets in Kabul, and there's the other 90% of Afghanistan. They keep telling us that the things are getting better. We're making peace, but then another blast wall goes up. It gets quieter, markets are reopening, but no one feels safe. We're all just buzzing around, keeping ourselves busy until the next explosion. We have this Afghanistani translator. We call him Bob. That's not his name, but we call him that. Bob is this smiling young Pashtun. Upbeat, nice home, cute wife, never has a complaint. Well, Bob was walking toward me yesterday, butchering some Beyonce song, and I thought, this is what my enemy looks like. He's Bob age, listening to rap music, playing Xbox 360, has barely grown a mustache, and he wants to kill me. People who look just like Bob, and who knows, maybe even Bob in a year. When I look over the wire, I see new satellite dishes, antennas popping up on every roof. If it wasn't for the mountains and mosques, it could almost be St. Louis. If I get home, am I going to be one of those lunatics who can't keep still, can't stop thinking about, can't stop living over here? I'm not going to be able to get rid of Indian country. I want to see you. When I get back to St. Louis, you should come and see me. I'm crashing on a friend's couch, but you should still come. I can show you the arch and the good section of St. Louis, all 2 blocks of it. Fuck it. We won't even go back there. Why should we? There's nothing keeping me there. It's not home, just Indian country. We'll have to make our own home. We'll go to Arizona or West Texas, someplace hot and flat, far away from a city. Nothing will look like Abilene or St. Louis or Kabul. No cell phones or antennas, no malls or hotels. Just us. What do you think?
Lorenzo enters and snatches the letter.
What are you doing?
It was by your bed.
Give it. It's mine.
I stayed up writing that. I couldn't sleep, so I just planted myself in front of a computer and started typing. To my high school geometry teacher, my ex-girlfriend, my prom date, my mom. But I only had your email address. Never really paid attention to how few people I really knew.
It's hard getting people to notice me.
Yeah, in your teens, that's the way it is.
Does it get better?
No.
Good to know. Thanks.
No problem. Whatever I can do to chip in.
Chip in?
Yeah, so you don't kill yourself. Or your dad. You're not, going to that, are you?
Well, I didn't have any plans this weekend.
Good. I should be getting back to the station.
Oh? When does your bus leave?
10 a.m.
You got time.
Yeah, but I want to just get my ticket.
And wait 8 hours in a bus station? Come on. You've come all this way. You want some more wine?
No, I'm good. All those different manuscripts mixed together is not doing good things to my stomach.
I can get you some cereal to soak up the wine.
I'll walk it off.
Come on, we got all night.
No, I can't. I've got to get back to St. Louis. Look, but we'll talk by email.
Yeah, right. Maurice, you're the first person I've met who is a hero.
Like Aquaman.
No, a real hero. The first time I read about what you did,
Here we go again.
I hated you.
What?
Maurice, I hate guys like you so fucking much that it makes me want to vomit.
Thanks. I hate you too.
But I hate guys like you because I want what you got. That, stuff. The total badass hero vibe.
You have nothing to be jealous of.
Maurice, I'm a horny little fag in the middle of Kansas. I have plenty to be jealous of. I try to, butch up, but it's like holding my breath underwater. And then I see all those fat, saggy, jowled prisses, those old queens, lonely, sad, wrinkled freaks wearing penny loafers. And I realize that's what I'm going to become. But I don't want to be some faggy high school drama teacher.
Then don't be. Be a faggy English teacher or math teacher.
You're so sweet.
Well, what do you want from me? Do you want me to kiss you and make it all better?
It wouldn't hurt.
Kid, I've been really patient with you, but right now I got a dull line headache, a destroyed image of the woman I loved, and a pair of blue balls. So I'm going to leave out the window and get back to the Greyhound, back to St. Louis, make up some bullshit story about banging some bitch so I don't look like a complete idiot to my friend and then fall asleep for 2 days on his mom's futon.
But you told me you'd be my hero.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did. In September, over I am.
Are you like my Xerox machine? How can you even remember what I said over I am?
I printed it out.
What?
I printed out your emails and our chats.
Why would you do that?
Oh, my parents check my computer, so I have to print out the private stuff I want to keep and delete the files.
And you threw these papers away?
No, I still have them.
You still have them where?
Here.
What? Are you serious?
Why wouldn't I be?
We had cyber sex over I am.
I read those the most.
Fine, but if somebody finds those papers or your mom finds them while cleaning, that's my ass.
I keep them in a safe space.
Where?
Well, it wouldn't be that safe if I told you.
Lorenzo. Buddy, you wouldn't want me to get in trouble, would you?
Nothing is gonna happen to you. Nothing ever happens to guys like you.
Let's work something out here.
Maurice, don't you have a bus to catch?
It can wait.
I thought you had to rush off. I mean, the bus is leaving in about 8 hours. Wouldn't want you to miss that.
Lorenzo, what would it take for you to possibly consider giving me some of those?
Wild, angry sex?
What else would it take?
A hand job?
Let's be reasonable.
A hand job is pretty reasonable.
You can give a hand job to any guy.
I don't want any guy. I want you.
Why? You think I'm some hero? You think I'm this big macho guy?
Maurice, even the newspaper story said so.
The fucking newspaper story is pretend.
So what if it is? It's not like you're Paris Hilton or some worthless rich piece of shit. It's good pretend. The world is better because of it, and so are you.
Lorenzo, if you think that story is real, then you don't even know who I am.
Who cares who you think you are? I know what I think. Let's pretend. Isn't that love? You be the hero, I'll be Lillian, and everyone is happy.
Or we could stop pretending and get real.
Why?
So you can grow up. So you'll stop worshiping you. It's fucking story.
Maurice rips up the story and throws in Lorenzo's face. Lorenzo goes to his desk and takes out another copy. Maurice lunges for it, but he's drunk, and Lorenzo is quicker.
What are you gonna do? Rip up every copy I have? It's on the internet. It's already out in the world. You can't destroy it.
I'm getting out of here.
I'll email you. I'll send you presents. I'll write you letters.
Lorenzo?
Because I know you'll read them. Because I know you like me. Some part of you likes me. That's why you'll read them. You can't destroy our connection.
I can try.
Why would you want to do that?
So you'll stop pretending. So you'll leave me alone. Want to hear something?
No. Maybe. I don't know.
I was doing a few shifts, working at a checkpoint for UNESCO.
Maurice, what are you talking about?
The story.
I know, but you're drunk. You don't really want to leave me alone.
UNESCO is this organization for poor kids. They got a whole setup in Kabul. Cars go in and cars go out all day long. Every once in a while, you get a bad driver trying to speed through the gates or someone difficult.
What if we turned off the lights, you closed your eyes, and we see what happens?
UNESCO was bringing in these giant sewage pipes to install at this elementary school. Children play in these puddles of hot liquid garbage. I mean, just the nastiest fucking stuff you could think. And they splash around in it like it's chocolate.
Where did you put the blindfold?
Lorenzo, would you shut the hell up for a minute? I'm trying to tell you something.
Fine.
Fuck. Anyway, nobody wants to go help out. We draw and I lose, so I gotta go on this trip to take the pipes from the airport and escort UNESCO to the school. Big philanthropy project. Cameramen, reporters, everyone's on board to watch what a great, kind thing we're about to do. Our job is just to escort the convoy through a rough patch section of 10 blocks and get the stuff there. When we hit the bad area, the trucks in front of us are kicking up dust so we can't even see 5 feet in front of our face. And that's when the shooting started, peppering the Jeep and trucks. Then it starts coming on heavier from all angles. And we're firing out of the Jeep in every direction while speeding through the patch at 100. An IED explodes, firing, and the Hummer next to us goes up in a fireball. And we're firing and firing and firing. We got a few more blocks to go. I look up and can see above the smoke. On the roofs are these little kids with buckets, and they're dumping raw sewage back down onto our convoy. The same stuff we're trying to get cleaned up and put in these pipes, they're hurling at us. Diapers and cereal boxes and oil get dumped on top of us for fun. And everybody's just having a fucking blast. And one of these girls, she's wearing these neon green socks and shoes, so she stuck out. She's dumping buckets of shits on us and laughing. I'll start firing at the roofs. I'm sure I hit a few. We were clear to the bad area and the shooting dies down. We get to the elementary school, we scramble out and take our position. 2 men got their heads blown off and 3 are evac'd out.
What's evac? Sorry.
Air evacuation to a hospital. In less than a minute, I got 2 dead bodies. One guy who has an eyeball full of shrapnel, another whose right arm is hanging on by a thread, for these pipes. But whatever, UNESCO doesn't care. They just think it's so wonderful that we got these fucking pipes to the school. It's all a part of the progress to help these ungrateful goat fuckers since we invaded their country, right? When they take out these pipes, they can't even hold water. They were shot up with holes and cracks from the ride. Who knows? Maybe they were busted to begin with. But I just drove through hell for these pipes. So the UNESCO guy, some office prick with the title and badge, starts telling me there's some more pipes back at the airport and everything will be fine if we just turn around and go back through the hell again and get those pipes. I'm like, fuck you and fuck this. I go for a walk. Before anybody has a chance to react, I've opened up some distance between me and this UN guy. I get lost in these little narrow streets and I find this cool and quiet hidden path at the end And at the end is this woman. She's washing clothes in a plastic bucket and hanging them up on a line. She stands there and stares at me. I sling my automatic around my shoulders and draw my handgun.
What?
It's easier to shoot somebody in close range.
You were going to kill her.
In war, people get shot.
You guys have a code of conduct. Maurice, you're not like that. You weren't going to shoot her.
You don't know me.
But you need reasons to shoot.
Fuck your reasons. You want me to blame my parents or my daddy hit me? Isn't that a reason? Maybe I'm sick of seeing friends lose their arms and legs because some kid pushes a button on a remote. Maybe I'm pissed off at UNESCO, the Marine Corps, Afghanistan, those fucking flag-waving bastards who shipped us over here and forgot about us. How many reasons do you need to kill?
I don't know.
Just shut up. I spin her around and I press my Beretta to the back of her skull and I'm going to do this. I'm thinking, holy mother of fucking Jesus, I'm going to do this.
Maurice.
What? Feeling sick? Good. That's the feeling you should have when you're about to kill. Then the adrenaline kicks in and I start to feel it. I release the safety and close my eyes and then something shoots me. I look down and it's a girl. The same girl on the roof with green socks. The one who was throwing shit at me. The one who was laughing and smiling. She's wrapped around her mother. I try to rip her off, but she's glued tight. But this time, the UNESCO guy and his entourage has caught up to me. One of the embedded photographer finds us yelling and screaming at each other with this mother and daughter cowering in the corner. He knew something bad was happening and he just looked at me and said, "Come here and let me take your picture, hero." And then his camera starts going off and I find myself smiling and being told to put my arms around the little girl and her mother. After a few pictures, the mother grabs her clothes and her daughter and sprints it away as quickly as possible. And that's when the UNESCO guy opened his mouth, spinning out this story. Color and detail get added. The gunman turned into a kidnapper, into a gun. Photographer knew he was full of shit, but he had to make deadline. Details get back to the Marines. Armed service information gets involved and the story spins faster and faster until I don't even recognize myself in it. People play along and I did too. Every time I hear that hero story mentioned, it makes me want to fucking vomit. Every time I get it out of my mind, I have a few minutes of peace. Somebody has to bring it right back. And then my mind starts racing and I can't stop it and I can't stand it.
Maurice picks up the bottle and drinks the rest of the wine.
So you're a liar?
And a coward and an idiot, but not a hero.
Lorenzo tries to kiss him and Maurice holds him back.
What are you doing?
Come on. We're here. Right now. Just us. What do you want? Pretend I'm Lillian. Whatever you want.
I don't want anything from you.
Maurice, you came all this way, right? You lied. I lied. We're here. You're just like me.
I am not.
Yeah, you're just like me. You're scared. You're a liar. A ward. Just like me. They push us around, fucked us over. No one cares about me. No one cares about you. I'm not even that scared of you anymore.
Fuck you, Lorenzo.
Come on, you fucking coward. You're just like me. Just like me. In every way.
No.
Maurice shoves his hand over Lorenzo's mouth and slams him against the bed.
Wait.
Shut up.
Maurice presses his fist down hard into him. Scene 5. It's morning and still. There's a tangle of sheets, arms, and feet on the bed. Maurice moans and rolls over onto Lorenzo. Smothered under the bigger body, Lorenzo reaches for his watch. He looks at it and panics. He tries to get out, but Maurice won't move. After struggling against dead weight, Lorenzo manages to slip underneath. He looks around the bed and on the floor for his pajamas and finds Maurice's underwear. Quickly slipping it on, and obviously for the fact that the shorts are slipping off his waist, Lorenzo runs out of the room. Moments later, he returns with a cordless phone in one hand while he still holds his shorts with the other.
Mom? Sorry, I know I'm only supposed to call in case of emergencies, but where are you? Okay. How come nobody woke me up? No, I was just curious. All right, bye. Wait, when will you be home? Okay, bye.
Lorenzo looks around in daze. He drops the phone and walks back out. Maurice wakes up, rubs his head, and remembers where he is and what happened. Unable to find his underwear, Maurice covers himself in the sheets and sits up in bed. Lorenzo enters with 2 hard-boiled eggs.
My mom left this for us. Well, for me. But
He throws 1 egg to Maurice.
I gotta get out of here.
it's 10. I guess you missed your bus.
There's another one in the afternoon. Your folks still here?
Nope. Every Saturday, we all go to the ham and eggery. Just something my family does.
Tradition.
Yeah,
Deep.
it's the ham and eggery.
Why didn't they get you?
My dad couldn't sleep, so he was up all night.
What?
But he was downstairs, watching TV. He didn't want to wait for me, so they just went and left me behind.
So we're safe.
For now,
So I can scream at the top of my lungs.
sure, if you want to.
Cool.
Well,
Ah!
we can do whatever we want. For a half hour at least.
Lorenzo gets close to kiss him. Maurice pulls away.
You should have some salt on your egg.
Lorenzo walks into the bathroom.
You keep salt in the bathroom.
Yeah, I got a problem with slugs coming through the window.
Where are my shorts?
What?
My underwear.
Oh, I guess I'm wearing it. Sorry, I'm so used to going without it. I couldn't tell if it was yours or just an old pair of mine laying around that had been stretched.
Well, can I have it?
Salt or shorts? Which one do you want first?
Shorts, please.
Maurice tosses the pajamas into the bathroom. Lorenzo tosses out the shorts. Maurice changes and Lorenzo comes back out in his pajamas and eating his eggs. Maurice puts on his pants and shirt.
Could I have the letters?
Sure.
Lorenzo removes a shoebox from the computer tower. He pulls the letters out. Maurice grabs them all in his hand.
What are you doing?
Taking the letters.
Not all of them, just the dirty ones.
Lorenzo sorts through and picking out a dozen or so of letters.
These.
Lorenzo, how do I know there's not more?
Those are the ones.
I can't risk my safety on a couple of extra letters. You might as well hand over the rest.
Why won't you let me keep something?
Because they're not yours. It's my words, my letters. They weren't even written for you. Personal stuff is in there.
That's what I love about them. They remind me of you.
Why do you need a reminder for it? I'm here.
But you're going, so I'm keeping them.
Fine.
Fine.
Maurice grabs the letters. Lorenzo puts the rest back in the sneaker box, crams it into the computer tower, and slides it back under the bed.
Great.
Maurice dresses.
Look, Maurice, I'm sorry.
Thanks for breakfast.
I hope you're not freaking out. Thank you. Can I email you?
You can do whatever you want.
What I meant is, will you write me back?
If I have a good internet connection, who knows? They're moving us around a lot.
Then I can send you some letters or care packages with some food and you'll get them.
I'll try, but I might be busy getting shot at.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Lorenzo goes in for a goodbye kiss. Maurice tries a friendly hug. They both settle on a handshake.
Wow. A handshake.
Nothing wrong with a handshake goodbye. And Lorenzo,
What?
get off the internet.
Why?
Because there's a million and one things to do besides looking for sex and reading bullshit blogs.
Online, I can check pictures, profiles. If someone harasses me, I can block them out. The internet isn't that bad.
I promise you, the real world is a lot better.
But then who's going to block out the bad stuff?
I don't know. You just get out there into the world. If you need advice, you can write me. If you want.
Really?
Sure. Just nothing dirty.
I promise.
Well, goodbye.
Wait, let me get you some food for the road.
Lorenzo, the egg is fine.
But you might want a snack or something.
Lorenzo exits to the pantry.
Oh, I know. My mom has a stash of granola in the towel closet.
What?
She likes to hide food around the house. We pretend not to notice. Cookies, pretzels, candy are everywhere. One time, I found some bottles of chocolate milk floating in the tank of her toilet. But she has this organic, holistic, non-preservatives granola in the closet. I think it's her attempt to be healthy. Whenever my mom is feeling guilty about eating badly, she just takes fistfuls of granola and crams them into her mouth. I try to tell her granola actually has a lot of fat in it, and even if it is good for you when you eat at ham and eggery all the time, that pretty much cancels out any health benefits. I read this study online about fatty triglyceride acids that says I'm right.
You're a very smart kid. You just need to let the internet go. Stop using it and people as a crutch.
Maurice reaches underneath the bed and opens the box of letters.
I'll try. Maurice, I know you don't want to hear this, but I'm going to miss you. And I'm going to change for you.
Maurice puts the letters in his jacket. Then he slides the computer back under the bed. He exits out the window.
And I think it's because I love you. There. I couldn't say it to your face. I didn't want you laughing or yelling at me, so I'm screaming it from the other side of the house. I love you! I love you in the other room. I love you in the same room. I love you over in Afghanistan. I love you when you're in Indian country and when you're in the green zone. I love you when you're scared, when you're hungry, when you're cold, and when you think you're dying, then I feel like I'm too. Because I love you. I love you. Love you.
Lorenzo enters with a bag of granola and dried fruit. Scene 6. Lorenzo chomps on some snacks as he writes. He garbles through a mush of granola and fruit.
Dear Maurice, it's LL here. Just in case my other emails got lost in cyberspace or never made it to you, couldn't hurt to follow up. I was just emailing you to see if you got that care package I sent you with granola and fruit. I'm eating some of the leftover stash. You mentioned that you were moving around a lot, so it might have fallen into the wrong hands. How are you doing? Get back to me when you can. Love, sincerely, respectfully, LL.
Lorenzo slaps himself as he remembers.
Dear Maurice, sorry. I know I just sent you an email, but I forgot to ask you if you didn't receive the package, then send me your new address and I can ship over another one. Wondering how you're doing or what's the weather like over there? It's starting to get cold here. Prairie cold. as my dad likes to say. I read that the mountains can sometimes, like block vector winds, but I guess when you're that high up, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm gonna stop writing now. Going to go out and meet some people, as you suggested, and not online. You'll be happy to know that I haven't even gone into chat rooms or anything in a month. I haven't even looked at our old letters. I've been trying to change. So, there's this group for teens questioning their sexuality that I was a part of, but I never went to any of the meetings because, it's lame. Then the school board canceled our funding, and so we don't have to pretend anymore. Now we're just gay teens, and it's cool. We've become like this rebel group, like meeting in secret places, trying not to get busted, emailing in code in case our parents break into our computers. A lot of secret spy stuff. Everybody wants to know who's a part of the group, but we try to stay one step ahead. We never meet at the same place twice. Some of the guys are all right, but I don't want to be seen with the flamers because when that would be like announcing it. And I have it rough at school, but the flamers they get beaten up all the time. There's one boy I'm interested in, and I think he likes me too, but he's a flamer. If he even came within like a mile of my house, my dad would kill me. At school, we can only exchange looks in the hallway. I guess I'm still not brave enough. Okay, going to get off the internet now. I swear. Closing down the windows, signing off email, logging off the computer. It's my birthday soon. Just letting you know. If you were curious or wanted to, I don't know. Anyway, logging off and getting out. Talk to you soon. See ya. Bye. Bye.
Lorenzo opens his mouth but stops himself from speaking again and exits. Maurice comes out. He's back in Kabul and reading the letter. He tries to write. He tries to start writing but can't.
Dear LL, on the way back from Abilene, something very strange happened. Oh, I know it's been a while.
He starts again.
Greetings. I was busy. I'm a busy person, and days just seem to fade into weeks and then months. Before you know it, letters have been sitting around unanswered. But I have something exciting to tell you. Lorenzo?
Maurice tries to sound esteemed. Lorenzo enters, reading the letters and drinking Maniswitch.
Over the course of a man's life, one learns certain facts about oneself.
Who the hell says oneself? Maurice, you're not sounding like yourself.
In due time, I will be able to tell you about the facts I have learned about myself. For now, please accept my best wishes and hopes as a sign that I still care for your well-being. Respectfully, Sergeant Maurice A. Creeley.
Maurice exits. Lorenzo finishes reading the letter. Then he rolls to the floor and reaches under the bed for the computer tower. He takes out the box and is about to file to the letter when he lifts it up open and instantly knows something is wrong. He tosses away the lid and sees all the letters are gone. He starts to panic.
Mom? Dad?
Lorenzo races out of the room. He runs back in. His eyes look around for possible places he misplaced the letters. He rummages through his desks and yanks the drawer, dumping everything on the floor. He ransacks his room, clothes, bed sheets, papers gets tossed. He runs into the bathroom. Bathroom destroys that too. Finally, he collapses in the bathroom, heaving for breath. Maurice enters wearing Marine parade dress.
Dear Lorenzo, you didn't respond to my last letter. I have a feeling why. And you haven't been responding to my emails the past few weeks. I hope you're doing well. I'm back in the States for 2 weeks. I'm also getting married. I met the best lady on my last leave, on my way home from Abilene, in fact. That's what I was trying to tell you. It was good luck, or fate. We ended up talking on the bus all the way back, and I stayed in contact with her for months over the internet. Some of her family thinks it's a little rushed, but I laid on some of your lines to them. What are you so afraid of? Okay, I said more than that, but you get the point. We're doing it at her church. I'm nervous because I haven't been to church in years. I keep thinking I'm going to walk in the front door and get struck down by lightning. Her name is Lenore. I couldn't find a Lillian, but I found something close. I hope. We're going to have just enough time for a honeymoon before I have to get shipped back for my last tour of duty. Then I plan on moving somewhere, going to night school and starting a family. Maybe Arizona. I started reflecting on the things I've done in my life, and of course, you came up, and our letters. I wanted to apologize to you for, well, you know what I did. To make it up to you, I've enclosed something to remember me by.
Lorenzo walks out with a scrapbook. He opens it and finds all their letters.
The way you were keeping the letters was disgusting. Not a good way to store something, especially if you want it to last. You'll find all the letters and emails. I even rewrote the ones where I misspelled the cuss words, but they're all there with their original meaning intact.
I appreciate it.
Lorenzo, I think you're the best person I know. After Lenore, okay, maybe you're tied with her.
Maurice.
Stay safe and keep dodging all those people trying to hurt you or take advantage of you. It's Indian country everywhere these days, so you have to be safe. Please be safe.
I love you.
Morning is breaking here, and by tonight I'll be a married man. And by next week, I'll be back in Indian country. So it's a crapshoot whether I'll make it or not.
I love you.
But if you don't hear from me again, I just wanted to tell you,
I love you.
in case I never see you again, I wish you all the best.
I love you.
And I love you.
Thank you.
I can't believe I almost went my whole life with this fist pressed against my chest. Then I stopped listening to all those voices and let myself be loved. If I make it back home, I know I can have a life. The problem is now I'm really scared. Now that I have Lenore, I'm so terrified of losing what I just found.
Maurice, stay safe.
Always. That's all I can try to do. Well, signing off here. Sincerely, with love.
Always.
End of play.
Thank you very much. I thought that was so moving and delightful. I was just really, really touched by that. Thank you, Devin Cunningham and Mikee Loira and Ely Orquiza. And thank you also, Aurin Squire, for this beautiful, beautiful play. We will come back in just a few seconds. Just wanted to remind everyone that we are queer theater. We are the longest running queer theater in the world, Rhinoceros, struggling through these very, very, very weird times. So yeah, if you like what you saw tonight, if you want to keep queer theater coming at you, please consider a donation. We can take it through PayPal on our website there, www.therhino.org, or you can donate by check. There is the address that you should send it to. We really, really appreciate that. And now I'm going to stop this screen share here and bring back everybody. Let's see. So everyone, come on back. Hey, Devin. Yay, Devin. Yay, author. Wonderful.
Great job.
There's
Thank
the fight. Hey,
Yeah, wonderful. Wonderful, Mikee. Thank you so much. And Ely, come on and show your face. Eli was the esteemed director.
It's not letting me get on my video, but it's all good.
Beautiful
Okay,
job.
we can hear you. We can hear you. I'm just seeing in chat here, we've got, well, from our artistic director, he was enthusiastically saying, author. He's very pleased to see you there, Aurin.
Thank you.
Got people, giving us applause. If anyone had any questions or comments or that you'd like, we do have chat open here, so please throw them at us. I'm going to start off with Aurin. Aurin, I discovered this play several months ago when it was first published, and I was intrigued, but really, really intrigued by it, and I knew I was going to do it as at least a staged reading some point in the future. And Eli just reached out to me a couple of weeks ago and said, you're doing stage readings online. How about this play? And he sent me the script. And I said, I know that play. Let's do it. So, but can you tell me a little bit about your process and especially how this particular play came about?
This was a long time ago. I was in middle school, and I was in the Ars Nova play group. So I probably had just graduated actually from new school. And we were given the assignment of Valentine's Day plays where we had to write about love for this Valentine's Day festival. And it had to be something sincere. So I remember there was this epistolary play called Dear Kenneth Blake that we read at new school that was a series of letters. And I was like, great, I'll write a play in letters. And I started writing it, and I was extremely bored. And it was like a woman writing a letter to a man. I was like, this is kind of boring. Then I was like, well, what if she is a girl writing to a man? I was like, this is more interesting. What if she's a girl pretending to be a woman writing to a man? I was like, okay, now I'm getting interested. I was like, what if it was a boy pretending to be a woman writing to a man? I was like, yes, this makes me uncomfortable. It interests me. And so it was just a process of, sometimes it's an improv game where I switch things out. And I go like, what if I do this? What if I switch this out and do this now? And I go, well, this makes me more uncomfortable. And when I reach the level of discomfort and intrigue and like that weird mixture of, oh, I don't know how this is going to work out, and I don't even know what's going to happen when you put these two people in a room, that's when I get excited and started writing it as a 15-20-minute play that was at Ars Nova. Afterwards, the artistic director just said, this is interesting, maybe consider, expanding it. So I sat down when I was in a play group and wrote out the thing, and it made people very upset. It was probably more explicit in the initial version. And this is 2006. So it made people like upset and weird. And my agent was like, don't do it. And I was like, well, this is interesting because people are really upset by this play. So I think I want to do this because it challenges me. And how do I describe this without people thinking I'm a creep, but actually addressing love, an unconventional situation of love. So got into the Fresh Fruit Festival. I was told don't do it. So I did it and sort of produced it on my own, found a director. I went to the Ars Nova Christmas party after I just finished a play and ran into the director. And I was practicing a technique where whenever in collaboration, I state my goals at the very top. And I asked the director and everyone involved, what are your goals? What do you want? And I said, I want this to win awards, get good reviews, and get produced again off Broadway. And he was like, oh, okay, well, I just want a good experience. So it was at the Fresh Fruit Festival. It got good reviews. It won Best Play, Best Playwriting, and Best Actor. And then a producer picked it up to the ArcLight Theater like a year and a half later. And so I was in very much the self-help mode of like, I'm stating my goals, what I want, what do you want from this collaboration? I'm going to put this in writing. And the first two actors we handed the script to, who we wanted for the role turned it down once they read the full script.
Oh no.
One person said like, you can't do this, this is inappropriate, and like hung up the phone on me, who I cast. And I was like, all right, well, we'll find someone else. And we did. So I'm really grateful that this got up, and the little engine that could has had a very unusual trajectory. And I was told all along the way, you know, don't do it. It's weird. It's going to make people uncomfortable. And I don't think art is about being safe. It's about exploring new things. So that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, thank you. And uncomfortable is a good word. You know, when I first read it, I felt very, very uncomfortable. But I'm like you. It's like, well, maybe that's kind of an envelope I need to push then, you know, for myself and maybe for audiences. One of our audience members did ask, you know, and you may want to leave this a mystery, or you may have some definite ideas, but did Maurice actually have sex with Lorenzo?
Yes.
Okay. I was fairly clear on that too, that they did. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What I did find interesting, the whole trajectory is you did kind of turn this kind of story on its head, in that, you know, Maurice is certainly not a predator by any means, you know, and if there's a pursuer, you know, it's Lorenzo, who gets in way over his head, obviously.
That's an uncomfortable thing people don't want to talk about, that I've shared with my friends and other people have shared, that there are children and teenagers out there who have sex drives that before they turn 18. And one of my friends in particular talked about when he was 12 or 13, he would go to bathrooms and he would like target men in their 30s or 40s. He would try to like have sex with them. And I was like, ooh, I don't want to hear this. But he's like, this is reality. There are a lot of horny 12 and 13 and 14 and 15-year-old guys and girls out there. And we could pretend like we could just have the veil over our eyes and it doesn't exist and say it's gross and nasty, but it exists. So how do we talk about it without automatically demonizing it? And he was, in my friend's case, the person who was aggressive and would pursue and would trick people. And I had another guy in New Mexico who pretended to be a woman for years in order to get straight guys to sleep with him. And I asked him, how did he do that? And I always remember, he just looked at me, he's like, Aurin, men are very dumb. He's like, and straight men are very, very dumb.
And you kept that line. I liked it.
And he was in a 2-year relationship with this straight guy, pretended to be a woman. He would dress up in a wig, and he would do the, you know, Madam Butterfly thing of hiding stuff. And the guy was at the point of proposing marriage to him when he moved away. So he was just like, guys are very dumb. It's not that hard to be an aggressive person if you're gay and in a straight environment, if you want to, but it's a risk. It's risky.
Huge risk. Yeah. Yeah. But I did let you, you're shining a light on something that is a reality. And pretty much right now, it seems the only narratives we have for relationships between someone who are technically younger and someone who's technically of age, you know, are basically what's given to us from the mental health field, where things are growing in leaps and bounds and are really, really good, because there's a lot of stories of abuse and coercion, you know, that do need to get out there and, you know, be made real for us. And then there's the legal narrative that is just very cut and dried, that if this ever came out, you know, they would simply label Maurice as a predator, and he would be labeled a sex offender for the rest of his life, you know, and that's the legal story. But this gives another narrative to it. This adds another narrative to it, which doesn't mean it's trying to, I don't think you're trying to turn the other narratives on their head, but it kind of broadens the whole narrative of relationships between people. And
yeah, I talked about this when I was in undergrad. We were at the lunch table, and I was like, was anyone else horny in elementary school? And people were like, ew, stop. And I was like, no, seriously. And some people were like, yes. And then after a certain point, people were like, we need to stop having this conversation, because it made people uncomfortable to even think of themselves. as a sexualized being before the age of 16. And I was like, I'm just curious. And then people would tell me these stories again and again. I was like, well, this makes me uncomfortable. So how do I lay out this in a very, very fine line, lay out this thing which makes me uncomfortable, but that's something that intrigues me. And it's something that people don't really talk about that much because of, rightfully so, the amount of predators that are out there, male adult predators, I will say, that are out there and abusing kids. But I've been in situations volunteering where, you know, you're working with kids who come from troubled homes. And in a few incidences, one of my friends is a therapist. There was like a few boys that are very, very touchy, very, very touchy with everyone, like not respecting boundaries at all.
Mhm.
And my friend was like, that person probably has some issues at home. And so you have to have sympathy and care for them and differentiate between that and someone who's just a horny 13 or 14-year-old. And in this case, that child, I think something was going on. And there was another child who would like follow me around to the point where I would like run away and would try to follow me into the bathroom, and I'd like lock the door behind me. And he would be like knocking on the door, banging on the door. And I perceive that child as probably being abused or seeking something. So there's a difference between that and Lorenzo. I want to make clear, as far as I think those children are more on the side of they're replicating damaged behavior that someone has done to them. And then there's people who are just horny teenagers and horny 14 and 15.
Yeah, we have, this is for all the participants. Have any of you ever pretended to be someone else online?
Of course, that's the fun. I'll let the actors answer.
Yeah, okay, everyone. Yeah, Mikee, or I don't know, Devin. I don't know if there's anything you want to share about that. If you pulled from that for it, because y'all did a wonderful job acting this. I know you've only had a couple of rehearsals. You've had the script for a week. This was just amazing what y'all did, and I'm not sure if you were basing a lot of any of this on past experience, or if you went out and got some experience just so you could be very, very method about it. But feel free to share if you want to.
I mean, I'll share. I definitely was, when I was in high school, you know, when like Club Penguin was a thing and like Omegle was still a thing, you know, that was definitely, you know, I met a couple of people there pretending to be not Ely and pretended to be someone else. And that kind of, you know, I was in an online long distance relationship with someone when I was in high school. And that went on for too long and longer than it should have been, without the other person seeing my face ever. So like, you know, I grew up in a time where catfishing was a big thing, and that like catfish with Nave became a national kind of, that documentary became a national, you know, news. And you know, I grew up in that kind of environment, and yes, definitely have. It is wild out here.
Mm-hmm. I know for a fact when I was in high school, off a show, had a whole little, was in chat rooms and was talking. And I asked myself when I got older, why was that? Why was I? Because you know, yeah, who cares? You know, horny teenager. Curious about his sexuality and didn't really know where else to go to figure out anything. So it was just like, oh, it's not really accepted here. It's not really okay there. So who can I turn to? Who can I learn from? So I found myself being in like these little chat rooms and talking to people. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this is what this is. So this is what, oh, this has a term. This is this. Okay. All right. So we're finding stuff out. Now I always said now anybody who ever saw me always got my photo. You saw me. Yeah, that's all I'll say on that.
Interesting.
And during, you know, like I think 10 years ago, it was completely different when access to a webcam or a phone with a camera was still a luxury.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people would easily ask you ASL question mark, you know, age, sex, location, and you can easily just pretend to be someone else by just typing a few things, and people would not question that. Um, so it was easily because of that, you know, like the internet boom 10 years ago, and the widespread access to chat rooms. It was definitely, you know, conversations were fluid. There were a lot of um, people that really paid no attention whether or not you were telling the truth. um, so it was and now it's difficult, I think, because you have Snapchat, when, you know, apps today are like, you know, if you don't have Facebook, you don't exist, or if I can't FaceTime you, you probably are telling a lie.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Guilty.
I mean, yeah, it's changed a lot now. People would expect a picture immediately. But when I would hang out with my friends, this was when I was a freshman in college, we would chat pretending to be one person just for laughs. We would like go find horny people and just chat. And I would do that intrigue or laughing. And I remember one time I was chatting with a guy, and then I went and wrote my paper. And I was really into writing it. And all of a sudden, my buzzer rang. And I was like, what? Uh, and I and I went downstairs, and the guy was there, and I was like, "Oh, I thought we were joking. Like I'm writing." And this is when I thought I might be a writer. I was more interested in writing the paper. I was like, I'm really in the middle of a good essay I'm writing. And that was attractive. And I was just like, I just would rather write right now. And he got so pissed off. And I was like, I'm sorry, but I thought we were just bullshitting. And sometimes I would do that just to work up the steam to then go to the page and start writing.
Oh,
And
interesting.
so there's a very fine line between when it becomes serious and when it's just bullshitting and you're just like blowing off steam verbally. Um, and someone wrote they thought Lorenzo was damaged. I think Lorenzo was damaged too, but there's a difference between being damaged because of outside circumstances not being accepted and still being horny, and being damaged in your sexuality and neediness being influenced by that. I think he's a little bit more, yes, probably damaged from the circumstances, and maybe he's over sexualized things because that's the one thing that's been denied to him. But he still has the potential to have a okay life. I don't think he's like some people I've met who have been truly almost destroyed before they get to adulthood. Um, so yeah, it's just gradations of damage that we go through when we're teenagers to becoming adults, and it's a gray area. When is it acceptable to just be a horny teenager? When is it like we need to talk? This is a problem that you are compulsively doing something, and when it's, you know, almost to the point of needing pills and a therapist. And I think we all exist on that continuum.
Mhm.
If we're having an honest conversation late at night on Zoom, I think that's something that it intrigues me because I don't have a hard and fast answer because I think it's a lot of gray.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's funny, when Eli messaged me about the script, and I read it was about a catfish, just recently, because like with the shelter in place, I was kind of bored and went on Tinder, re-downloaded Tinder, and actually had a catfish. And it was like the first time I've ever experienced like getting catfished like in my life. So I thought that was like the universe's way of saying like, here, use it. But
Wait, someone pretended to be someone else, or someone pretended to be you?
a little bit, like we were, I matched with someone because Tinder has this new thing where like you kind of like set your location wherever you want in the world. And I ended up matching with somebody in France, and we were talking, we even met up, and we even like talked like over like FaceTime and things. And we would like spend like 2 nights just like getting to know each other and everything. And she like opened out about like a lot of things, like deep things about her life. And I was like kind of there to like support her. She was like grieving and things. And like I felt like we made like a connection. But then on the third day, she messaged me, like private messaged me and said like, hey, I have a secret. I've been lying to you. And I was like, Yeah,
She's admitting it. That's a nice honorable.
right, I guess. And
I like
she
that.
messaged me, and I guess on her profile it says she's like 19, but she messaged and said she was actually 17. So I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So of course I was just like a little bit like spooked about that, but then like we talked and we said like glad like we got to know each other like friends and everything, and we like broke it off like amicably, like as respectfully as possible.
Yeah,
But it
you
was
don't want to be in, Catch a Predator.
right.
Okay.
I still have that show.
Not
Go
about
get
that.
I'll
some
watch
lemonade,
reruns if
sweet
that'll
tea
do
on the
it.
counter. You walk in with like a bag full of sex toys. I'll be right out. Just go get got some lemonade and cookies. Oh, okay.
Just take a seat right there. Take a seat right there.
She stands and comes out. What are you doing?
Hilarious, bro. The
Probably
facts.
thought I was 17 too, the baby face, She was like, this guy can't be 20. This guy can't be 20. You're probably 17. I don't know, but it's crazy. So it really still does happen.
Wow.
Yeah, when I was dating, we never even heard of the internet, so it was not an issue. So yeah, any other question? It looks like there's people, basically commenting. Yeah, they agree about the gradation between damaged and horny for Lorenzo, and I guess I don't know if you were intentionally putting this in there, or because I don't think Maurice would necessarily had the wherewithal and just the sophistication to think this, but at the end, he's telling Lorenzo exactly what he needs to hear. It's like, I'm starting a new life with someone. I'm not going to have this life with you that you wanted, but I love you. I love you. And I think that's really kind of what Lorenzo really needed to hear. It's like, because Maurice knows Lorenzo, sees Lorenzo, knows darkest, deepest secrets about Lorenzo, and yet he says, I love you. Whereas in Lorenzo's experiences, if anyone knows all those things, he's going to get thrown out a window.
Yeah.
So Maurice, in a way, gives him exactly what he needs to hear, which I kind of see that's probably a turning point for Lorenzo.
Yeah, turning point towards something healthy where you don't have to
much healthier.
sexualize not only all men or even other gay men. You don't have to sexualize. You can have friendships. You can say I love you to women, to men, to other people, and that doesn't mean you're going to hop into a sack, and have sex, because you're growing out your personality. You're growing out your experience as an adult, and you need to hear that. If you don't hear it, you walk into adulthood and you only hear I love you when the condoms coming out or the wrappers coming out, whatever. That's the only context in which you hear I love you. And that's a pretty sad existence, to only hear it in that 1 or 2 minute window of time before doing an act, and doing the act sometimes just to hear that, because you're not going to hear it anywhere else in life.
And that's why they keep looking for it in that situation. Yeah.
And especially men who are told not to say that, and especially don't say it to other men. Even if you're straight, especially if you're straight, don't say to other men that I love you. And it creates a lot of damaged men, gay and straight, who walk around with this hole in their chest. And they're like, oh, what's wrong with me? Why do men die much younger than women? It's like, because they don't get to express love. They're told to just shut all that shit down. Only express love with your partner, your monogamous wife, and then that's the person. And then everyone else, fuck them. Everyone else is your enemy or someone trying to screw you, and maybe you have like 1 or 2 buddies. And it's very, in my opinion, toxic. It's much more toxic than homophobia, because homophobia fits under that umbrella of toxic masculinity.
They're related.
Yeah, that's what I really love and super appreciate about the ending of this, of that like moment of I love you exchange. And obviously this is just a virtual reading, but seeing a masculine body who's self-identified as straight, saying I love you to another person, creates a ripple of breaking down that stereotype of using I love you as not just a romantic way of saying that to another person, but it could be a multitude of platonic or whatever form, and not have that, as you mentioned, Aurin, earlier, having a sexual tie in relation to the utterance of that word. Yeah.
I'm hopeful that maybe that's changing with the younger generation, that people know that that's important. Because that was, at
Absolutely.
least when I was young, told you sort of didn't say that. That was like weird if you said that.
Yeah, I grew up, like with, I grew up with people saying "I love you," and then they would follow it up with "no homo,"
Yeah.
just to like cancel out that like seemingly, emasculating yourself by showing some type of compassion or emotion towards another guy, another male. Yeah. But it's definitely changing. I've been saying, I say I love you to a bunch of my straight friends, and they were like, I love you too. And I hope, I hope that it changes, and there's not a lot of stigma around that for the next generation or younger folks.
I think so. I mean, one of the things I've tried to get back to is because I grew up in between the age of internet. I grew up and then the internet struck right about when I was like a teenager in high school. So I remember a time before it existed, and like, yeah, it was very difficult for me as opposed to just growing up with the internet existing or growing up into adulthood and not having the internet at all. It's weird when you're in that in between period, and learning how to get outside of that, because what the internet does is it hardwires us like fast food for the most extreme responses, for pornography and violence, or for fast food for salt and fat. And so what I've done, and I've talked a little bit about this over the last few years, is I do like these, I'm Buddhist, we take like temporary vows of celibacy for like 3 months or 6 months or 9 months or a year. And what happens when I do that, I've done it so many times because I've never experienced a greater sensation in my life when I don't go for the fast food reaction or the fast food interaction with people. The first month is really difficult because you realize how often, or I realize how often, the mind reverts to just sex. It flips like sex. It would, no, yes, no, and it goes to this binary concept, 1-0, sex, no, sex, no, And when that's removed, the mind has to reprogram itself. And it got to a point like the second month is usually when I get very emotional, because then the emotions start coming up that have been layered underneath this hard shell. And then by like the third or fourth month, like it feels like it feels like I'm growing a new skin. And I would walk around and I would see beautiful people everywhere that I wasn't going to have sex with. I would see beautiful little girls. I'd see beautiful old men and old women walking in the street. People were beautiful. My heart was going out to them because I wasn't trying to negotiate any transaction that involves sex or the possibility of flirting or whatever. And by like 4 or 5 months into it, you experience this ecstasy. I would wake up some days laughing, which I would wake up like laughing because the body's in this state of ecstasy and love that is holistic and that isn't attached to an end result. And, I've met so many great people in that situation because I'm emanating this energy, and I'm not like going around putting flowers in people's head or doing something hippy dippy shit like that. But I'm just like emanating like, oh, I'm really listening to you. And I'm not flirting with you so I can get you in bed or whatever. I'm like really listening to you, old woman. And if I was in cruise mode, I'd be like, old woman, no. I'd be like, just get out of here, get out of my face. Next. And I would just go through the crowd next, boom, bang. Okay, hey, thank you. Are you gonna give me a job? No? Okay, get out of here. And when you're in that, when you let that new skin grow, you realize I realize how narrow my focus normally is. And I walk through the world with these blinders on like this. And my love is like that too. And what celibacy does is it like releases those blinders, and then I look around and part of me feels happy, and then part of me feels stunned at how many people I missed when I have the blinders on. How many people I don't even, it's not even about hatred. It's like, just, I don't even think about you. It's like, get out of my way, man. You're not giving me anything. And this is a capitalist transaction. My relationships are capitalism. What am I, it's like, no, I don't even acknowledge your existence. And you realize, or I realize that 99% of the world, I just go, no, get out of my way. And then I laser beam focus on people who give me money or sex or a job or something I need. And if you're not in those categories, I will politely, because I'm raised in a proper middle-class household, listen to you for about 15 to 30 seconds. And then I will, like in a cocktail party, wander away because you have nothing to offer me. And I'm, it's more a wake-up lesson for me. It makes me better with intimacy, but it makes me better in just normal relationships with people.
Interesting. I wasn't going to get that out of that play, but that was.
But I'm saying, like, that's a holistic love that we can.
That we hope these two characters are moving towards.
Yeah.
Aurin, what time is it where you are?
It's 1 a.m., but I like slept late.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were in New York or Chicago, but
You're in Florida, right?
Yes, I'm in Miami.
oh, in Miami.
With
Okay.
my parents, and I live in Brooklyn, and I'll be there like in a month. I'll be back in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, Williamsburg.
For sure.
Wow.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's getting better. It's getting better. Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank everyone involved with this. This is really one of my favorite experiences. Sometimes with the readings, I just need to be more involved because someone doesn't know how to use Zoom or whatever. But this, Eli came up with the play, even though I was already familiar with it. Eli suggested it. We talked for a little bit about casting, and he immediately cast it. And then I just got to come and see it for the first time tonight. I just love that. Because I get to see it fresh, and I also get to congratulate myself because I can tell, yeah, that was a good play. I made a good choice and saying, yeah, let's do this play, for which I have to thank Aurin. Thank you so much. This is a wonderful.
Thank you so much.
I definitely would. I mean, I read this play a couple of months ago when I first reached out to you, Aurin, and I've been trying to find ways to have this director or produce in some ways. And I'm like, Corona, come on, get out already. But this, I definitely would want to see this stage and produce. It's just like such a moving, beautiful, and well-nuanced writing.
Oh, well, thank you guys.
Yeah.
So many people are involved in this process when it was workshopped, and the directors who've gone through it, David Gard, rest in peace, the director producer who did it off Broadway, and Eric Hersher who did it at the Fresh Fruit Festival, Carol Polkovar who ran the Fresh Fruit Festival for several years, and just a lot of people who've had their hands on this piece have helped mold it and shaped it and give it nuance. So thank you. And thank you to the actors and to Eli and to Theater Rhinoceros for doing it. Because I haven't listened to this play in like a decade. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I don't see any more comments or questions coming in, and we could stay here a long time just talking about these issues, but it's 10 o'clock on the West Coast, and that seems late for me, so I need to go to bed. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a nice.
Aurin.
Thank you, Aurin.
Thank you, guys.